if Donald Trump went up to your 10-year-old daughter and said he'd be dating her in 10 years, would you still vote for him?
Of course not.
Okay, so then why would you vote for him if he did that to someone else's 10-year-old daughter? Okay, so given that he said this to someone else's 10-year-old daughter, why are you defending it?
There's no evidence he said it to a 10-year-old, dude.
You just heard it, sir. You literally just heard it.
Show me a video.
Dude, you just heard it. You like just heard it, dude.
Show me.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Well, I have a lot of arguments with it, like against how Trump's running things now, but I voted for Trump because he's better than the alternative.
Okay, but why do you think that?
Because Kamala Harris has like slept her way to the top, and I think she would have been a horrible president. She was a DEI.
Sir, I have a question. What evidence do you have that she quote unquote slept her way to the top?
I don't know. She slept with Willie Brown, and then was the Attorney General of California. She was one of Montel Williams' like 17 girlfriends. So.
Okay. So how is sleeping with Willie Brown and being in a relationship with him at all going to be relevant to her being Attorney General of the state of California?
Well, she wasn't in a relationship with him. She was sleeping with him.
She was in a relationship with him.
Oh, so they were a couple?
There's a type of relationship that it can exist even if someone's not in an exclusive relationship. Do you agree?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I have a relationship
and
with
I'm not familiar on whether or not their relationship was exclusive, but do you understand the point that I'm making? And even so, the point that we're making is that, again, this was not something that she was using in order to be able to get into the position of the Attorney General. This didn't actually contribute to her getting into that position at all. Why would you say that it did?
Well, you know, it's politics.
So you're just trying to make her seem bad.
I'm not trying to. I mean, she does a pretty good
like,
job.
It seems like you just said because she's a woman, you're going to brand one of her relationships as she was sleeping her way to the top, when you would never brand a guy that way.
Do you think she's respectable?
Absolutely. Significantly more respectable than Trump.
How so?
Well, because Trump cheated on every single one of his wives, was held civilly liable for abusing a woman, bragged about walking to the changing rooms of women while they're changing without their consent, while two 18-year-olds came out, said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms. He protected P3 radios and the Epstein files by ensuring that it wasn't released, even though there's a literal legal it legally forces him to release it in the Epstein Files Transparency Act.
He didn't say he went in the dressing rooms. He said he went in the changing rooms.
Okay, can you describe to me what a woman's changing room is without saying woman's? Hey, sir, can you describe to me what a woman's changing room is without saying women's changing room?
An area in private where they have their own personal space to change clothes.
Okay, so an area where women are changing, where no men are around, and where you aren't supposed to be, right, as a man?
Let's see. Do you think they're gay?
So let me just clarify. Let me just clarify real quick. Let's take a listen here real quick, and let's hear exactly what Donald Trump says, and let's see if it meets that very description of what you just said.
Okay, let's see if he says
getting dressed and
Wait, listen.
Done that. Now,
I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone
Backstage before a show.
is getting dressed and ready and everything else. And
Everyone is getting dressed and everything.
you know, no men are anywhere.
No men are anywhere.
And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. You know, I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like
everything
a
is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay?
He makes a joke about having false pretenses to go in that then allows for him to get away with it.
You know, they're standing there with no clothes.
They're standing there with no clothes on.
Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things.
And then it reaffirms that he gets away with it. So, by the way, not a women's changing room. And by the way, let me just clarify. Literally, the victims came out and talked about the fact that Donald Trump would barge into their changing rooms. Okay?
How many?
So this whole point of, oh, he just said backstage is like the most embarrassing response ever to the state of affairs that you just listened to, because it's very, very clear.
How many women came out and said, oh, he barged into my changing room?
There were countless. I gave you an example of 2 earlier that were 18 years old that came out and said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms.
How many said that he didn't do that?
Barge into the changing rooms?
How many said that he never
So just because someone said they didn't barge into the changing room that they were in doesn't mean they didn't do it to anyone else. One is too many.
How many women involved in a Trump pageant said, oh, I never saw any kind of like misconduct from them?
There was a few that said that, but that just because they said that doesn't mean it never happened. That's like claiming that someone said they were around Jeffrey Dahmer, therefore Jeffrey Dahmer is not a serial killer because they weren't killed. Like, that makes no sense.
No, what I'm saying is, a pattern should occur. Obviously, he wasn't charged with...
Yeah, a pattern of him admitting to engaging in exploitation, of the victims coming out and talking about him doing this exploitation, him literally saying he grabs women by the without asking, him being held civilly liable abusing women, him
Yeah, him
preventing
saying
people
that
from being held
privately to
accountable in the
another
Epstein
dude.
files. I mean, this to
Hey,
me sounds
Parker.
like a pattern of behavior. If that doesn't sound like a pattern of
Hey-
behavior to you, when are you going to realize it?
Hey, Parker, have you ever said anything to one of your buddies that you wouldn't want to be out in public?
No. Or actually, yeah.
You've
well,
never said
actually,
anything you wouldn't want other people to
technically,
hear.
yes. My girlfriend's name, or yeah, like that, like something like
You've
that.
never said anything uncouth to one of your buddies, like, "Oh, dude, that girl's hot," or "Wow, I'd like to do this to that girl."
No, I don't go around saying those things. I'm in a relationship,
gay.
sir. The fuck?
Then you're gay.
What? How am I gay for not going around and saying those things about women when I'm in a relationship that's monogamous?
Have you ever been in a locker room?
Do you realize how that doesn't make any sense? Wait, I have a question, sir. Can you
I'm saying is men.
Wait, hold up.
talk a
And also,
certain
by
way
the way, let me clarify.
around other men.
You're saying to not see women, right? Unnecessarily, right? Like you're literally just like them for no reason with your buddies, like thinking that's completely okay, referring to it as locker room talk. You're saying if you don't do that behavior, that you then are not straight. That makes no sense. So it's just like having values, right, somehow means that you are not straight. Being a gentleman means you're not straight. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, I've never talked that way around other men, but I've been around men.
So you've never talked that way around other men. Okay.
I don't think they're predators.
And yet he's trying to justify this behavior, but you've been around other men that do it, and you're okay with it.
And I don't think they're because they said, "Hey, that chick's hot. I'd like to do this to that girl."
Wait, so let me clarify. Donald Trump bragged about grabbing women by the vagina without asking. Is that being a...
No, what he said is they let
answer
you
the
do
question.
it.
Is that being a saying you grab women by the vagina without asking? Is that being a like you don't even have to ask, you just grab women by the vagina? Is that being a...
Why didn't they come out and I don't know, charge him with assault or harassment?
He was held civilly liable of forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's against her will, doing that very thing. He was held civilly liable unanimously by a jury of 9 people for forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's against her will. So you say, oh, well, why wasn't he held accountable for doing this? He actually was held liable. You just still supported him even though he was held liable.
Do you think E. Jean Carroll, everybody that's listening to this, do you think E. Jean Carroll, a woman whose story matched that of a Law & Order SVU episode, was actually telling the truth? Or do you think that the jury was like, oh, well, that sounds reasonable. Donald Trump's a and a racist. We've heard this for the last 5 years. Of course he did this. What are those two things you think is more likely? That he's actually a racist and did this to E. Jean Carroll? Or that the jury was biased and said, oh, yeah, he did this because I've heard this on the news for the last 10 years. What do you think's more likely, Parker?
So I believe E. Jean Carroll. She was raped by Donald Trump.
Why is
right?
that?
And because her story sounds similar to a story in a show that is literally about assault survivors and how you respond to situations like that, and stories that impact assault survivors, you would expect a assault survivor's story to be similar to stories of individuals who have been and are survivors. Okay? Like, you literally are referencing a show, Law & Order SVU, that is about crimes and holding people accountable for committing those crimes. Okay, so of course you'd actually expect that, by the way. Secondly, there were people in the context of the jury that literally referred to Tim Pool as a centrist and listened to Tim Pool all the time. Okay, and the Trump's lawyers signed off on that very jury. And you know what? Every single person on that jury indicated that Donald Trump forcefully penetrated E. Jean Carroll's against her will based upon a preponderance of evidence in the context of the civil court. So you can sit there and you can deny this all you want, but that tells us that you're just a rape apologist. That tells us that you don't believe victims even when they hold their abusers accountable in court. And let me ask you this question. There are over 27 plus women that have accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct. Do you think every single one of them are lying?
How many people have accused Bill Gates of a sexual misconduct?
Can I have a response without you just saying, what about this? What about that? Can I have a response to the question, sir?
Okay, my point of saying that is he's a very wealthy, famous person. Of course.
And we'll go through that in a second. Can you answer the question? Do you think every single one of the 27 plus women that have accused him of misconduct, do you think every single one of them are lying?
Let me address this first. You said earlier that, oh, well, it was
he's going to address something else, everybody. Watch this.
No. You ramble on, so I have to go back 5 minutes.
Okay, that's fine.
To address something that I wanted to. You said that it's similar to a Law & Order SVU episode. It is verbatim, exactly the same story as the Law & Order
Which
SVU
episode?
I don't know the episode. Anybody in here can look that up.
Can you describe the episode?
It is literally this guy barged into the dressing room and me in the dressing room of.
Wait, by the way, that's actually
Bergdorf
not
Goodman.
what E. Jean Carroll's story is. So I just want to clarify: you are mixing up
Can
the
I
stories.
finish
The
the
barging
statement?
into the changing rooms are claims
Oh my
by
God.
other individuals that were in Miss
He
Teen
talked
USA
her
and
into
Miss
doing that.
USA. E.
Yeah,
Jean
he
Carroll
talked her into
specifically.
doing that.
Can I ask you a question? What store was E. Jean Carroll in?
Bergdorf Goodman.
That's true. Bergdorf Goodman.
Yeah, that's the same store from Law and Order SVU. What I'm saying is her story lines up exactly
It's
with
a
the
store
story
in New York.
Law and Order.
It's a expensive store in New York.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question.
How come she's the
When did
only
the Law and
person-
Order
how come she's
SVU
the
episode
only
come out?
person that-
What year did the Law and Order SVU episode come out?
Before E. Jean Carroll came out with her story about how Trump did this to her.
Okay, but wouldn't that be after she told her friends that testified in court that she told
so
them
her
about this
friends
situation?
So her friends are executive producers on Law and Order, and they're
No,
like,
no,
let's
no,
write a
no,
story
they're
about
not.
this story
They're
that my
not.
friend told.
But
Then what are you saying?
But you understand.
That
But you
doesn't matter.
understand specifically that her friends specifically are talking about the fact that they were told this decades ago, testified under oath in the context of court, that that was true. I just want to be very clear. How would this story be true prior to the debut of the Law and Order and SVU episode? If it is the case that in the context of this situation, they were told prior to the episode airing.
Hey Parker, do you have any friends that you could say, hey, I was here on Friday night from 9 to 5? Did you have any friends that would vouch for you?
None of my friends
say, hey,
would go
I'll be
under
in trouble
oath
if
and
this
lie
happens.
about sets of circumstances under
Are
oath
people
in court.
liars? Do people lie?
People are liars, like Donald Trump.
Are they more likely to lie?
You know,
for their
Donald Trump
friends?
was proven to have lied. He said that he never met E. Jean Carroll. There's a picture of them shown together. He said that he wouldn't have abused her because she's quote-unquote not his type, but then in a deposition mistook her with his ex-wife, indicating that he would have abused her either way. So let me just be very clear here. The person that was proven to be a liar in this scenario was not E. Jean Carroll, was not any of the victims, but yet was Donald Trump.
Yeah, the guy that meets 10,000 people a year didn't know that he met this girl that is
That's not what I said. That's not even what I said he lied about. What I said he lied about was he said that he wouldn't have abused her because she's quote-unquote not his type, but then in that deposition mistook her with his ex-wife.
That's an opinion.
Wait, do
That's
you
not like
understand that's a contradiction, okay?
Okay, it's not a lie.
That is a
I could say,
lie.
hey, I
That
don't
is
like steak.
absolutely a lie. If you can't understand
say,
that's
hey,
a
I don't
lie,
like steak,
then
and
you have
somebody
got
could
like
steak
sub
and
40
steak.
IQ.
And I could say, oh, that's good, not knowing it's steak. Do you understand how that works?
Wait, say that one more time?
I could say I hate steak, and somebody could feed me a meat and that I don't know is steak, and say, oh, that's good. You understand? Like you can make a misconception about something.
I don't see how that was. How was that relative to what I just brought up?
You said, oh, she's not my type, and then he mistook her for his wife in a picture. That's the same thing.
So you understand that she looks just like his wife insofar as he can mistake them, but he said, I wouldn't have abused her because she's quote-unquote not his type, indicating because he thinks that she's quote-unquote ugly, right, that then he wouldn't ever get with her. But by the way, if she looks like his ex-wife, well then he got with his ex-wife, did he not?
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Okay, so the whole idea that he wouldn't get with someone because they're not ugly would have been a lie then, if he mistakes her with his ex-wife. For him to make a misconception then means they look similar. Okay?
I don't know, what was the quality of the picture?
Similar enough for you to mistake the two, right?
Was it 280p or was it 1080p?
It was a completely clear image. I've seen the image myself.
Oh, okay. Did you pull it up?
Yes, I can. Again, evidence that you did nothing to look into the case. Alrighty, let me pull up the image for you. I have it right here.
Oh, that picture that's like in the shadow? Is that what you're talking about?
Where her face is clearly visible.
Yeah, that looks like I don't know, 90% of women in the 80s.
Well, I'm sorry, that her face is clearly visible, right? And by the way, it's her right next to Donald Trump. Donald Trump's looking directly at her.
I'd like to see a picture of his wife during that time period, or his ex-wife.
Wait, regardless, it doesn't matter, right? He mistook
What
her
if they're very
with his
similar?
ex-wife. He mistook her with his ex-wife. When he saw that image, by the way, this is the image that he was shown. And when he
What I'm
looked at
saying
this
is-
image, he said, "Is that Marla?"
What I'm saying is, that's not proof that he S8'd her. Because
Wait,
he said,
you're-
oh,
it's
she's not my
proof,
type.
sir. It's proof that he lied. You're misunderstanding my
lied.
point. Yes,
No,
it's proof that he lied.
He's giving his opinion about it. He's not lying.
He is lying because he said he wouldn't have abused her because she's quote-unquote not his type, but then in the deposition mistaking her with his ex-wife, indicating that she would be within defined what he would deem to be as attractive, as literally, right, he got with someone that he could mistake to be E. Jean Carroll, right? He literally married Marla Maples, right? Meaning he got with Marla Maples. He was willing to get with Marla Maples. He mistook Marla Maples with E. Jean Carroll. Okay? So the idea that he wouldn't have got with E. Jean Carroll as a means to say that he wouldn't have raped her, one, is a disgusting thing to say in the first place, and two, would then show that he was lying because it was someone that he could mistake with his ex-wife, which is someone who he got with, so he would have got with E. Jean Carroll. So the whole argument that he's making is stupid. Okay, you have to realize this is a blatant lie.
I disagree.
Okay, so explain us that one, Einstein.
I would say that's an opinion that he gave, I don't know, 40 years after the fact, when she looks like the Crypt Keeper. Have you seen the interview she did with Anderson Cooper?
It was when he was shown this image, and you disgusting you're so weird for saying that. It was when he was shown this image.
Saying what?
When he was shown this image, he said this about E. Jean Carroll. This is E. Jean Carroll, right? Literally around that time when he.
E. Jean Carroll today looks nothing like that picture.
Yeah, he wasn't shown a picture of E. Jean Carroll today. He was shown a picture of E. Jean Carroll and thought it was Marla.
Okay.
Dude, you're just like your brain cells do not function properly, do they?
Have you seen her interview with Anderson Cooper, which talks about rape?
Yes, I have. Sexy? And you're. Oh wait, do you think she was saying that she thinks that herself?
No, she says, I think most people think of rape as being sexy.
Okay, and you can disagree with what proportion you think is a proportion of society that thinks that, but that's not her claiming herself that she thinks that. And that doesn't undermine that she was a. I don't know why you just pivoted to that. Did you just pivot to that because you realized that you had no argument with the prior point? Or can we go back to the point that I was making, or do we have to pivot to this new point because you feel like you lost?
What I'm saying is, I don't think anybody that's been raped would even utter those words.
Wait, that actually makes sense that a rape victim specifically would talk about that because they'd be hyper aware of the fact that people do that in society, and that perpetuates conditions of rape culture.
You think there's a rape culture in America?
Especially, yes. Especially when you vote in you voted in a guy held civilly liable of forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's against her will. If that's not evidence to you that we live in a rape culture, then I don't know what would be. The president was held civilly liable unanimously by a jury of 9 people of forcefully penetrating a woman's against her will, and literally you still voted for him. Not just to mention that he literally is preventing the release of the Epstein files, right, where he's legally obligated to release all of the files, right? He said that Marjorie Taylor Greene was a traitor because she wanted the release of the files. He said that anyone who wanted the release of the files in the very first place specifically never supported him in the very first place. So you have to understand that this guy, right, is absolutely upholding and perpetuating rape culture, and to support him is to be a proponent of the system of rape culture in America that is creating worse off conditions for rape survivors within this country.
Have you ever called Marjorie Taylor Greene an? I'm sure you have.
No, I haven't called her an.
Have you called her a white supremacist?
I would say that's probably true, yeah.
Okay. But now that she's trying to get something disclosed that you want, you're like, oh, well, he said this about Marjorie Taylor Greene. You said worse things about him, and you're criticizing him.
I'm not bringing up the issue if I have. Oh my gosh, Marjorie Taylor Greene. Now, what I'm actually bringing this up to demonstrate is that he literally said that she's a traitor because she wanted the release of the files. She was like 100% in alignment with the cult prior, but because she wants the release of the files, now she's a traitor. That's the point that I'm demonstrating. I'm not saying I like MTG. No one's claiming that. That is definitely not what I think. What I'm claiming is that she was a part of the cult, and because she didn't fall 100% in alignment with the cult and not releasing the files, she was then called a traitor.
Why do you say a cult? Because I believe that you and Dean and everybody else that's on the left, well, that's on mainstream left, are in a cult.
How are Parker and Dean in a cult? Tell us.
Well, it's like no matter what facts are shown to you, you won't change your mind about it.
I've changed my mind countless times.
About what? Give me an example.
About what? I used to be a Trump supporter, sir. I grew up in a Christian conservative household. Okay? I am not Christian, nor am I conservative.
Why aren't you Christian?
Because I think that Christianity is false, and I can't justify it to be true. I don't think there's enough evidence. Why are we pivoting to that? You said that I was in a cult. Explain why you think I'm in a cult.
Because you won't change your mind without evidence. Well, yeah, you grew up in a Christian conservative household. But since you've been an adult...
Wait, you just said I'm in a cult because I... Wait, did you say I'm in a cult because I won't change my mind without evidence?
No. Did you go to college?
Yeah, I did go to college.
Okay, that's why you're in a cult. All your
So
professors
because
and everybody
I
around
went to
you was
college,
saying,
that means I'm in a
Black
cult.
Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, and Trump's a racist, and Trump's a Nazi, and everybody on the
Trump
right
is a
wing,
racist.
right wing is not.
Trump is a racist, by the
How is
way.
he racist? Give me an example.
Why
how
are we
he's
just
racist.
like pivoting to a million things? So, can you first? We'll talk. I'll write this down. Trump is racist. Okay. You said that I'm in a cult because I went to college. Okay. So explain to me how me going and getting an economics degree in college is somehow me being in a cult.
Let's see. Do you think most of your professors were liberal?
No.
No. 90% of professors are liberal. What did you go in like a college? Like, did you go to Liberty University?
No. I mean, I live in California, but I got an economics degree. I think no. I mean, I had some professors that were liberal, but I think
9 out of 10.
No. I think my professors were like across the board ideologically. I had a conservative professor, I had a liberal professor, I had a lot of moderate type professors. That was mainly, I would say it's mainly moderate type individuals that I had as professors.
My daughter is in high school in Texas, and most of her teachers are liberal.
Okay, cool for you. I'm talking about my
No,
professors
it's not cool for me.
in
What I'm
getting an
saying is,
economics
most
degree.
people in education are liberal.
I'm talking about my
That's a well-known
professors and getting an
fact.
economics degree. So can you explain to me how me getting an economics degree means I'm in a cult?
Oh, well, if your professors are telling you like, we need to, by any means necessary, and Black Lives Matter and Antifa, like all this shit.
I don't think I ever heard I don't even think I ever heard Black Lives Matter in any of my classes.
When
like
did
actually.
you graduate?
Like I actually like literally don't. And I even took a sociology class. Maybe once I heard it. Like I don't what are you talking about?
What year did you graduate?
2024.
Then there's no way you didn't hear Black Lives Matter in college, dude.
I genuinely don't remember ever hearing it.
Okay, so whenever George Floyd died and they were burning down cities, you never heard Black Lives Matter.
What city was burned down? What city was burned down?
A number of them.
Name one.
Minnesota, Waukesha.
Waukesha in Minnesota was burned down completely?
Of course it wasn't completely burned down. I'm sure there's a few buildings standing.
Okay, so it wasn't burned down. No city was burned down. You're being ridiculous. Okay. So now can you get back to the whole point of you think I'm in a cult just because I got... Are you educated at all? Do you have a degree?
Of course I don't have a degree.
Okay, so you're saying you're not in a cult because you didn't get a degree, and I am in a cult because I got a degree. You know, I think that's a good thing then. Like W college cult. Jose, by the way, thank you for the $34. Thank you very much. For the caller is a misogynistic grape apologist. He would betray his own daughter and dear leader, as so many of these grape apologists have done. For his dear leader, as so many of these great apologists have done on these live calls. I'll actually ask that in a quick second. We'll see. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Doug, thank you so much for the $50. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it for just stopped by to reward you for showing how showing the world how dumb Dave Rubin is. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Laura, thank you for the $15 for defining changing rooms to idiots. Thank you so much. Brandon, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you. That's great. Absolutely based.
What happened with Dave
as
Rubin?
well as Chubaki, thank you so much for the purchase. Thank you for the $20. Thank you very much for that city is in Wisconsin, and I can confirm it didn't burn down. Idiot. Rogue historian, thank you for the $20. Thank you for this is all the teachers are liberal, universities are leftist, and cult members talking point is a dog whistle and is directly linked to the Judeo-Bolshevik conspiracy. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. It's absolutely a nuts take. I think it's like the take that conservatives engage in because they've realized that people who are less educated tend to lean to the right. So, like, I think it's their way of trying to create society that leans to the right to a greater extent, not actually, like, them thinking that education is bad, like, in of itself. Because I think that if they were the ones controlling education, they'd be like, oh, it's so great, so amazing. That's where you learn God from. Fossey, thank you so much for the $6. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section. Seriously, though. Jessica, thank you so much for the purchase the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, I'm so sorry to hear that. It's absolutely insane. And it's definitely not representative of everyone, that for sure. You're totally right. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Michael, thank you for the $5. And Angela, thank you so much for the $5. Molly, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. And Marcus, thank you for the $5 for here's to help rebuild Minnesota since it's burned down, apparently. Jared Lee, thank you so much for the $5 for I got my degree at a private Christian college. Look at that cult member right there, actually. Look at that cult member. Vicky, thank you so much for the $7. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Of course, I think it's really important. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Hey, so what happened with you and Dave Rubin?
I dog walked him in a debate.
Oh, did you? Did
Yeah.
you really like troll him, or are you just saying that so you're?
No, like I actually did. Like it was literally like CNN played it on TV.
Okay.
And it was like there was an MSN article written about it, an independent article written about it. It was on the Daily Beast. It was on the HuffPost. It was all over. Because I actually
you must
did.
Have told him then.
I did.
If
I did
CNN
really.
wrote about it.
I asked him.
Wrote about it.
I asked him to name a.
Yeah,
asked him to name a single economic indicator that's been made better off since Trump got in office, and he couldn't do it.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't like Dave Rubin anyway. But.
Okay.
No. I mean, no reason.
Why is it because he's gay?
No, I just don't agree with gay people adopting kids.
You see? I knew it. I knew it. I knew it, dude. I knew it.
Do you think the kids? Do you think a kid would be?
Do you see what I mean, dude? Do you see what I mean?
Let me start. Instead of
it's not that you dislike Dave Rubin because of his ideological beliefs, because he does everything that you want from ideologically. It's literally just because he's gay. You don't. No, what's wrong with gay people adopting kids? You snowflake.
Do you think kids are better off with the same parents or opposite sex parents?
I think it's the exact same. If not actually, if not better, with same sex comparative to opposites. That's what the data says. You can look at the bibliography in my bio. Actually, if anything, there's a slight positive impact for the development of children when there are gay parents. Like, I'm just serious. There is it's either no difference or it's a slight positive for gay people. That's the data, okay? And you can cope and you can be a snowflake and you can be triggered about just gay people existing all you want. But actually, if anything, they're better for children, especially than you.
I would rather. Okay, let me put it this way. I would rather two dads or two moms have a kid than for it to be in the foster system. But I wouldn't rather two dads have a kid than a mom and a dad.
Why?
Because it confuses the kid. Like there's no social norms of like what.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't confuse the kids. What are you talking about?
It doesn't confuse the kids when they have two dads. And everybody school's like, where's your mom at?
No, that's not confusing at all.
There's no stigma there.
You know what the response is to that? I have two dads or I have two moms. That's the response to it. That's it. That's not them being confused.
Like,
that's called.
How is
that them being confused?
You know, there's a stigma between. Do you think little kids are cruel, Parker?
So you want to get rid of the stigma towards gay people? So then maybe you shouldn't be perpetuating that yourself by saying that gay people shouldn't have kids or that you disagree with gay people having kids. Because that sounds like you're the one reinforcing that very stigma that you just criticized.
No.
We should stigmatize you for your fish picture that you probably have in your Tinder profile as your first picture, more than people who shouldn't be at all stigmatized just for being gay.
Tinder's for losers.
Well, I'm just saying that I was just making fun of you because that was probably in your dating profile.
Well, your
it's your profile picture. It's you with the fish. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a pro bass shop or a pro bass hat?
No.
You don't?
No, I buy from like smaller companies.
No, like the hat.
No, I know what you're saying. No, I support local like fish shops. I don't go to pro bass shop.
Okay.
So, but like,
do you go to Christian Mingle?
No, I'm married with 3 kids. I don't go any dating website.
Okay. And one question just before this: if Donald Trump went up to your 10-year-old daughter and said he'd be dating her in 10 years, would you still vote for him?
Of course not.
Okay, so then why would you vote for him if he did that to someone else's 10-year-old daughter?
Do you think Joe Biden showered with his daughter at an inappropriate age?
What a pivot. What about Biden?
That's
Can
really
I have a response, and then we can talk about whatever misconceptions you have about that? Can I hear a response, and then?
I don't know. Do you think that's inappropriate for Joe Biden to
What
shower
about
with his daughter?
Biden? You know what? That is the best thing you can do. The best thing you do. You did the exact same thing that Dave Rubin did. When in doubt, bring up Biden's name. When in doubt, Biden actually, Biden, it's Biden's fault. Okay, Biden actually, Joe Biden, or actually this time Hunter Biden. Okay, can you give me a response? I'm waiting. I want to hear a response. Like, if you're saying that you wouldn't support Trump, given that he went up to your 10-year-old daughter and said he would be dating her in 10 years, why would you vote for him, given that he said it to a different person's 10-year-old daughter?
Whose daughter? Who did he say that to?
Oh, do you want to hear it?
Sure. Yeah, show me a clip.
Absolutely, I got you. Just take a quick listen.
Thursday night. You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
Biden. What about Biden? But Biden. But Joe Biden. Hunter?
Can I see the picture of the kid? Was he saying that to like an actual 10-year-old?
Did you hear her? I'll play it again.
Night. You going up the escalator?
Did you hear that? Yeah?
I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
There's
Because
no video,
I
dude.
don't
Show
think
me
I'm
a
just
video of
hearing
him
things. I
pointing
think
to
that I
the
heard that
making
in the
noise.
clip. Like he's saying that to a little girl.
Show me a video of him pointing to that girl and be like, "I'm gonna date her."
Wait, I'm sorry.
A
Do you
toddler.
think this is AI?
No, I'm sure that's an actual clip, but
Okay,
there's
so
no
then
video
what
of
else?
it.
Why
Like,
do you
show
need
me
to
a
see?
video.
Why do you need to see a picture of her in order to say that this is wrong?
That's not what I'm saying. I don't need to see a picture of her. I need to see a picture of him pointing to that girl that's probably 18
Wait.
years old.
Who responds?
I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. The escalator? Escalator?
Okay.
Thursday night. You going up the escalator? I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Can you believe it?
Come on,
Hey,
like,
Parker, you ever
are
heard
you
of
really this?
context?
Are you really this ridiculous?
Have you heard of context? Is there no video?
Oh,
Why don't you show
what
me a video?
context do you need to this?
I don't know.
Wait,
there
by
could
the
be
way,
a-
would you say that if that was your 10-year-old daughter?
If he said that to my 10-year-old daughter, I'd punch
Yeah.
him in the face.
Okay, so given that he said this to someone else's 10-year-old daughter, why are you defending it?
There's no evidence he said it to a 10-year-old, dude.
You
Show
just
me the
heard
video.
it, sir. You literally just heard it.
Show me a video.
Dude, you just heard it. You like just heard it, dude.
Show me a
So
video.
by the way,
Is there no
so if
video
someone,
of
so
it?
if I said this happened to your 10-year-old daughter, okay, Donald Trump did this to your 10-year-old daughter, and I played you an audio recording of it happening, would you believe it?
That's completely different. I wouldn't leave my 10-year-old daughter in a
Would you
crowded
would you
area.
believe it?
Show me a video. of
Would you
Donald
believe
Trump
it?
pointing
Answer
to
the question,
10-year-old.
Jared. Would you believe it?
Why won't you show me a video? Is there no video?
Because the video
Are you
specifically,
counting on lack of context?
he was caught on a hot mic specifically after an interview.
Saying what?
What you
saying
just
that?
heard? Yes.
To who?
To the 10-year-old girl,
How do you know it's a 10-year-old girl?
because you can hear her voice.
Yeah, you can hear
Thursday
a
night.
girl's
You
voice.
going up the
For
escalator?
sure.
Does that sound like a maybe even younger?
Yeah, that sounds like a little girl. Yeah.
Was that an adult?
How do you know that he's saying that about that little girl?
Okay, should we check your hard drive, bro?
Are you kidding me?
Seriously, dude. Like,
No, answer
what?
the question. How do you know that?
How do you know that she's a little
Parker?
girl? I hear
You
her.
don't know that he's saying that about the little girl, dude.
Okay, so then listen
You
again.
going up the escalator?
You going up the escalator? She says, yeah.
I'm going to be dating her.
He says, I'm going to be dating her in 10 years. Who's
I
her?
don't know. Maybe her mom. Maybe her 14-year-old sister.
Come on, this guy is so dishonest. 14-year-old sister. So you think it's okay to say that to a 14-year-old? There's
No, I
no
wouldn't
way
say
you
that
just.
either.
There's no way he just said that as like a win. Maybe
No.
he said that to her
No.
14-year-old sister.
No, I meant 18-year-old sister.
What? I'm sorry for all the headphone users, but that was nuts. Hello? Maybe he said it to her 14-year-old sister. Like that was better? What? You
hate
you
that
said
you
that like
said-
it was a dub. You said
I
that
hate
was
that
like,
you-
oh, dude, that's totally gonna mean that like Parker's not gonna care about this anymore. Oh my god, what if he said it to her 14-year-old sister? Hell, that would still be wrong, sir. She's 14 years old. Hello,
Okay, you're
14 years old. The
You're
guy's
right,
50
you're right,
years old.
You're right, Parker. You're right. I misspoke. Actually, I like that you don't mute me every 5 seconds like Dean does. Dean mutes me every time I start making a point. You actually contend with my.
Annie, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, it's not very clear. Any visuals is kind of like my point. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Give some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you. Claire, thank you for the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section. Millie, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you. Thank you so much. Crazy Rabbit, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you. Is it the one I referenced? As well as Mr. Flinch, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I know, it's absolutely insane. Like, literally, like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, what are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Like, this entire conversation. Like, why'd you think that was a defense, bro? When you have kids. He just left. Okay. He just ran away. I mean, that's what I would do, too, if I got cooked that badly in a debate. That was brutal. That was brutal. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, as always, everybody.